Watching Good Evening San Diego.
Good evening, San Diego. I'm Logan Burns.
And I'm Teresa Sardina. Thank you for joining us. We start tonight with the Tijuana sewage crisis and the growing number of Navy SEALs getting sick after training in the ocean off Coronado Island.
So a veterans group, which is called VetCom, is now filing disability claims on behalf of Navy SEALs who are now having lifelong medical conditions, they say, as a result.
KUSI's Dan Plant has the latest.
On any given day, you can see them with your own eyes, training for warfare off the coast of Coronado Island. Navy SEAL Team 5, some of the roughest and toughest warriors on Earth. But there's one enemy they haven't been able to overcome, an invisible enemy in the water. It's sewage and toxic waste from Mexico.
Well, I think here in San Diego, with what's going on with Mexico, basically waging chemical warfare on us here, we have Navy SEALs training in this poop water, essentially. Like, it's okay to make training hard. I was in the Marine Corps. It should be hard, but you shouldn't get a side of some disease or GERD or IBS or your skin falling off in order to become a Navy SEAL.
Unfortunately, here at SEAL Team 5, these days the training grounds are poisoned almost half the time, laced with raw sewage chemicals and toxic waste from Tijuana. Worse today than ever before. But the training must go on, and as it does, more and more Navy SEALs are reporting serious health issues. Kate Monroe is the CEO of VetCom. Her main duty is helping veterans file disability claims, and the claims are stacking up around here.
I have probably already made almost 1,000 claims from Navy SEALs and people that have trained here that are claiming stomach issues and skin issues directly correlated to their time spent here on the beach. And that's before you get the word out. Wait until they all find out what they actually have, because a lot of them just think, well, I have a bad stomach. No, you don't. You have IBS, you have GERD, you have Barrett's esophagus, and you're essentially rotting from the inside from your time spent in this water.
One of the Navy SEALs who spent years training in this water is Ben Gallimore. Like a growing number of SEAL Team 5 members, Gallimore has contracted lifelong stomach issues, which he ties directly to his time in the polluted water.
So I have all the conditions that Kate talked about a minute ago. I have GERD, I have IBS, that kind of stuff. I didn't know how I got it, kind of like what we were talking about earlier. I just got out and had stomach issues. I felt like I couldn't swallow food, like I was choking just from eating. Did a little bit of research on it through trying to get my VA claim done and found out that I had GERD. And I'm like, well, what is GERD? And it's this literal rotting of your insides.
As a group of Navy SEALs that trains heavily for underwater demolition, SEAL Team 5 spends hours and hours in the ocean without ever touching the land. Usually, that's the challenge in itself. But add toxic waste to the equation, and serious health issues are adding up.
When I think back on it, going through training, you'd see guys with weird skin sores and like all kinds of stuff, and you just kind of think, oh, you were just out on the beach. That's normal. But looking back at it now, like, no, that's not normal. You shouldn't be getting a flesh-eating disease just because you were hanging out in the water and you were dirty, you know? So there's a lot of things looking back now. I could have probably seen it coming ahead of time. Yeah. But, you know, you get to the point where you get to it and you're like, oh, well, this happened and this is clearly why, you know, when you put all the pieces together.
With the new billion-dollar headquarters recently completed for SEAL Team 5, the training grounds will remain in Coronado for the foreseeable future, poop water or not. But day by day, more and more claims are being filed for disability with the Veterans Administration. It's
nice to know that at least there is some sort of compensation coming from the ocean. We should probably try to keep that from happening. Like, there's no reason to have to, for every guy who goes through training here to have to come out of the water and claim, you know, an IBS symptom or something like that, a GERD. There's no reason to be having that. Like, if the water was just clean, it wouldn't be on the taxpayers to pay that.
Amen to that. And by the way, speaking of clean water, today the Navy SEALs were not training in the water. I don't know if they got the word in the memo from Mexico that Mexico is now telling us, usually they do it secretively, but they're now telling us that they're fixing some stuff on their side, and as a result, they have to dump all this stuff the sewage into the Tijuana River again, at least 5 million gallons a day for the next 8 days. So that's that. And then, of course, in about a couple of weeks, we understand that the new EPA administrator has finally been convinced to come down here and take a look for himself to see just how nasty it is. And for sure, he will be getting an earful about the impact on the Navy SEALs, on the Border Patrol, not to mention the entire community for the last 40 years. Again, something's got to give, and it's got to give on the other side of the border. Otherwise, this is a conversation that will never end. We're in Coronado, you guys. Throw it back to you.
Dan, thank you for that report. And following Dan's story, as he mentioned, another 5 million gallons of sewage is flowing into the Tijuana River, and officials in Mexico say it is being done deliberately. And according to the International Boundary and Water Commission, Mexico is repairing a critical junction box that's part of the International Collector Project. The commission says Mexico spent days looking at other alternatives, but exhausted all options. Mexican officials say most of the wastewater is going to the Mexican coast, but it's about 5 million gallons a day that will go to the Tijuana River. The work causing this new sewage flow is expected to last about 5 days.